Hi,
Got it.
everyone. Welcome to another Meet the 818 Chats. And today we have Mr. Earl Baylon or Baylon,
Either or.
actor. Yes, I couldn't, you know what? I was going to say it the proper way, and then your pronunciation of it got
I
stuck.
know my anglicized pronunciation. Hey, how's it going? My name is Earl Baylon.
So it stuck. So I was like, you know what?
I know.
I'm known for butchering names. Why not?
Right. It's all good.
How are you, Earl?
Doing all right. Just yeah, just living, and I've lumpia on my mind these past few weeks. So that's kind of just what I've been thinking about. Yeah.
That's awesome. Just a little bit of a background. Earl has done is an actor with Lumpia, which is a Filipino American movie about a comic book, right? Of the same title of title of the same title.
Yeah, it's basically the story of the silent lumpia avenger Kuya, who uses lumpia as a weapon. Like he throws them like ninja stars and other things.
Yeah.
And it's his story of fighting a crime syndicate with the help of Rachel, who is a high school student. And it is the sequel to the original Lumpia movie, which came out back in 2000.
Right.
And yeah, now we have a comic book that is tied into it. So everything.
No, absolutely. Because I kind of came in late, so I wasn't quite sure if the comic book came first or the movie
Right.
came first. So
Oh yeah, definitely the movie came first, and we were like, hey, let's create more.
Right. But before we do a deep dive on the movie, tell us about yourself, Earl. Like, how did you get into acting? Was this something that you knew, like, from day one, or did it just kind of organically become a dream that turned into a reality?
It kind of came along like organically, I guess. I grew up in Long Beach.
Mhm.
And I went to a Catholic school that was predominantly Filipino, and so performing was definitely part of the curriculum. Christmas pageants and all that
Yes.
stuff, music programs. So I started performing pretty young, but it was never anything that I took seriously as like a career until I was well out of college. So uh, I uh, I kind of rediscovered it in high school, doing like high school theater and all that stuff, and then I took some acting classes at Irvine, where I went to UC Irvine, and yeah, I ended up falling in love with it. Uh, didn't do uh, didn't do it out of college just because I didn't think it was anything I had any chance
Right.
having any success in. But then I joined Room to Improv, which is an Asian American theater group started by Elvin Lubrin, and I met people there, and in the sketch group that I ended up joining called sketchcomedyshow.com. And I decided to make the jump into doing it professionally, around 2007. So
Oh,
yeah, that's kind of and I've been doing the same thing ever since,
no,
just trying
that
to make it happen.
absolutely. And I think the first time we met was at a Room to Improv practice, and I was
Mm.
covering you guys for the Studio City patch.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it was over. We were rehearsing at off Irwin Street. What I forgot the name of the school.
Yeah, no, I just know it was dark and I had to find parking.
Right.
And then and then I had to text our friend Kerja, shout out to Kerja, to kind of say, hey, where are you guys practicing? But yes, that was the first time we met. And we try to the husband and I tried to like watch Room to Improv shows every now and then. But
That's awesome.
yeah, because I remember you guys at the Two Roads Theater. And
Right.
then we
Yeah.
started asking, hey, can we bring the child? And you're like, nope. No children allowed. So
Yeah,
no.
I mean, you could, but I think as we started to evolve, I don't want to
Mhm.
say we ever really got like mature, but like we're definitely PG like 13-ish. You know, we try to keep it there. Uh for the most part, all ages. Well,
Yeah, no.
PG-13. But
Absolutely. And I think the last show we saw was before the pandemic.
mm,
Was it, I believe it was like January 2020? It was
okay.
was it the Black Rose? It was something Rose
Oh,
Theater.
the Secret Rose, yeah,
Yes,
on Magnolia.
that's the one. And that was super funny.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah,
Glad.
no, absolutely. What other projects have you worked on apart from Lumpia and Room to Improv?
A bunch of stuff. I started doing voice work
Mhm.
in around 2010, 2011. But I worked on the Tomb Raider
Yes.
video game series. I worked on Trece, that was on is on Netflix. Tekken, that just came out now. That just came out like last month sometime.
Mhm.
Um yeah, a bunch of things. Things also coming out. Um, uh, it's horrible. I have to. I'm like, I don't even know what else I've done. I have to look at my what have I done? I don't know. But yeah, I've just been working mainly video games, voiceover. I do a lot of dubbing work for Netflix. So if you watch certain foreign language shows that are and they have an English track, then I'm in there sometimes. So
How did that happen? Like, how did you transition from sketch comedy, room to improv, to um, doing voiceovers for Tresse and what's it called? Tomb Raider.
it was really just a kind of a natural progression. You know, doing Room to Improv. Oh yeah, I joined that sketch group, and we were performing all over LA. You know, at competitions or and even just at comedy festivals, LA Comedy Festival. We used to perform at that. We had you know, we were artists in residence there, and we had a monthly show for a while. So uh, one of we did a show at not the Irvine, the LA Improv,
Mhm.
and a few agents were there, so they picked me up after one of our big showcases, and yeah, I got representation there. I got sent out on auditions, and I booked Tomb Raider. So it was, yeah, I just happened to book something, and it was, yeah, it turned out to be Tomb Raider. So like that's literally how I got into voiceover. I had done like one or two projects before that, smaller ones. Um, but that was my first like big thing, you know.
Yeah. Is there a difference, or do you process it differently performing live versus doing like a voiceover?
Yeah, I think there's a different process. And you know, the work that I did on Tomb Raider was like was a little different than even voiceover per se, because what you know, traditional voiceover in the booth. Um, I did do a good amount of that for the game, but we also did performance capture, so motion capture.
Mhm.
Like if you've ever seen the footage of uh like say the Avengers or Avatar,
Yeah.
where they're wearing skin tight suits and like reflective balls. I did that for the Tomb Raider games. So um that is definitely something that is that medium, at least acting wise, it's kind of interesting because it's I would say it's kind of a halfway point between like acting live on stage and acting on camera, because uh, you know, you do have more freedom in terms of movement. Like you're not restricted to a certain frame like you are with on camera work. You run the scenes in their entirety. Yeah, there's small things,
Mhm.
but it's in terms of approaching the work, like getting into character, that's still all there. And with voiceover, um, it definitely is a little more immediate because like you don't necessarily have the time to sit there and study your character because you have lines just there and you have to read them. But uh there's still a process that goes on. You still try to get uh into who this character is,
Right.
and what their motivations are, and what they're trying to what their intentions are during, like, over the course of the scene. So they're similar, but processes are similar, but they're very much um uh, yeah, they're similar but different, which is a weird thing to say, but
No, no,
um
absolutely. I mean, I feel more like with sketch, you have to be constantly thinking, like really fast on your toes, versus if it's a voiceover, then you have kind of the time to process, like, and there's really, I don't know, but I have never been in the industry, so
right, right.
I was like,
Uh,
I can't speak on that. But from what I see, like I just like when you guys did do room to improv, it feels like you have to think fast.
yeah, I would say that you definitely do have to think, but I would say that the skills that you do learn in improv, though, do translate a lot into like a lot of forms of acting, because one thing that people don't really realize is, like, you get you when you're acting, you sit there and then you do a take, and then you get notes,
Right.
and that's when improv becomes like supremely important. Uh it's just the flexibility that improv training allows you to have, or it gives you, is really it's indispensable sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Um, so my next question would be, how did you get involved with Lumpia, the first Lumpia movie, um, as an actor?
So I actually I was not involved in the first Lumpia movie. I actually was still in college when that came out.
Oh, wow.
Actually, yeah. So I was still in college when that came out, and I was actually still in high school when they filmed it. So but I knew and I met Patricio Janelsa and AJ Calomai.
Mhm.
I met them just through the whole um you know Filipino Asian American acting kind of uh it's a small group,
Right.
especially it was a small group, especially in the mid late 2000s, right? So like inevitably, like you meet people and you start to work with them,
Right.
and that's how I met Patricio and AJ, just kind of through friends of friends, um working on spec commercials with Patricio back then, and writing for Xylophone, which was AJ's production company. And then Patricio was looking to start writing the long form projects, a feature, and he brought me and one of my writing partners, Justin Keys, on. We're both we met in the
Mhm.
sketch comedy show, and he brought both of us on as writers, and one of our other guys, actually, Chris Clemente, to Xylophone, and then Patricio brought on me and Justin on this feature film, which was not Lumpia at the time, but as in the process of working on it, he the 10th anniversary of Lumpia came about, and during one of our meetings he was, hey, during one of our meetings he said, hey, we um or he was thinking about writing Lumpia too, and
Mhm.
and he wondered if we had any interest jumping on board, and we were like, yes, 100%. Um, uh, because lumpia was something that I had seen in college, and Justin had seen, as well. Um, yeah, it was kind of a no brainer. I was like, yeah, of course, I'll be there.
That's awesome. Love that it is showing all over uh, nationwide, not just like Southern California. That's so crazy. And I actually had marked October 7th for North Hollywood. And I was
Oh, I
like,
know.
ready to go. Let's do it.
I know. Unfortunately, we weren't able to lock that one in, but
no worries,
yeah.
no worries. But it is coming to the it is coming to the San Fernando Valley. So give us the details, Earl.
Yeah, so it's going to be at Sherman Oaks Galleria at the Regal there, which is right off the 405. But it'll be there this next coming week from the 14th to the 20th. Showtimes every day. I think we have 4 showtimes a day there. And we'll also be playing in Irvine same week. So if you have a chance, go watch it, support community filmmaking, support film creators,
Of course. And what should we expect with Lumpia 2? I mean, not giving any spoilers. Because I'm
so
gonna
what
go
happens?
Watch, so no spoilers.
I would say, Lumpia with a Vengeance is it's very much a fun film. It's lighthearted. Some might call it silly, but it's an action comedy, and we had a lot of fun making it, and it definitely draws inspiration from several things, including El Mariachi Desperado, kind of that, as well as Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So it's kind of got that feel, not the same budget, unfortunately, but like it is still very much like a kickstarted community-based film, and it stars a lot of people from not only the community in Los Angeles but the film community in the Bay Area. So we put a lot of work into it over this past 9 years, and just glad to have it in theaters.
No, that's awesome. What are you most proud of being a part of this project?
What I'm the most proud of is that the perseverance of this crew, getting something made like this, a feature with the ambition that it has. The ambition in the film, it's readily apparent when you watch it. We tried to make something really, really big, and on a budget that is not that big, that is not backed by a studio. It is entirely some would call do-it-yourself filmmaking, but it's still definitely it doesn't look like it was shot on high 8 or anything.
Yeah,
we pulled out all the stops we possibly could. It has over like 400-500 VFX shots. A lot of people have touched this project, and from the VFX work to the costuming to sound, everybody, a whole swath of people in the community have touched it, and I think that's the part that I'm really proud of, that it really is something that brought the community together to create.
perfect. And what do you think viewers should take away from this project? I know it's more comedy, but as someone who's been part of this project, what do you feel, or what would you like people who see the movie take, or what do you want them to take away from the movie?
What should you take away from Lumpia with a Vengeance? I think that it's kind of a big, like a meta reason, but like it's that if you want to make films, then, and if you want to make movies, if you want to be a filmmaker, if you want to be an actor, then just do it. Because sometimes there's going to be people out there that are there are people out there that are not going to say yes to you. You're, if you're gonna be a filmmaker and you're gonna be an actor or any kind of creative, you're gonna get a lot of no's in your lifetime. That's just the process of things. That's just how things work, and unfortunately, and sometimes you just have to buckle down and do things yourself, which I think is exemplary in this film. Again, we did this without any studio backing. We turned this over to the community twice. We crowdfunded it twice, and despite all that, I don't want to say hardship, but like all those factors, we actually got a film out, a full feature out. I mean, after 9 years, of course, but still, it's finished. and,
Right.
it did. We had a successful festival run.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm super proud of it. As far as the story goes, I think one of the big things about the story is uh to really you know learn to be comfortable with who you are, with yourself. I think that is one of the big takeaways from the story of the film. I mean, we don't hit you over the head over it because it is a comedy, but there's definitely that theme. There are several other themes in the film, but that's one of them, and I think it's an important one. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So where can they go and support Lumpia first? But secondly, where can they find you and follow you as well?
so everything that is Lumpia and Lumpia with a Vengeance is at lumpiamovie.com. And so that's lumpiamovie.com. And there you will find not only the schedule for the screenings for the rest of the month, but also our merch, like the hat I'm wearing. Oh, look at that. So
Nice.
so I don't know if this one's if we still have this one available, but like we do have another one available. T-shirts are comic books. So we do have Lumpia with a Vengeance, the comic book. It's a 3-issue run that ties into the movie. And there are 2 spin-offs currently. There's Gemini, who's one of the characters in the movie, and legendary Lumpia Squad, which is another team in the movie that shows up. So there's that. So yeah, lumpiamovie.com, and then all the socials are there. I am everywhere online at Early Be Good. So that's EARLY BGOODE with an E at the end, like Johnny Be Good, Early Be Good. And then everything else is at earlbaylon.com.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Earl, for being on the show. Really appreciate you and talking about you and lumpia. And you know what we didn't touch upon?
What's that?
Why lumpia?
Why lumpia?
I'll let you take that one.
Like why
Why the title lumpia?
Okay,
For the non-Filipinos out there.
well, I think initially, if I always I think I mess the story up, but initially it came about as a joke,
Mhm.
because Patricio and his brother, they were I forgot what the conversation was, but it came up in conversation as kind of a joke, like what if there was like a superhero who used lumpia as a weapon. And from that, Patricio was like, oh yeah, what if? And then they made the movie. So and if you don't know, lumpia is it's a Filipino spring roll. So it's meat or vegetables wrapped in a wrapper and then deep fried. And well, not always deep fried, but because there's like lumpias sariwa, lumpia hubad, but
Yes. All the kinds of lumpias out
all
there.
all the kinds. We could be here for another hour if we talk about all.
Right?
Yeah.
But we
So
don't have an hour because
and
we have,
don't,
we have things to do.
because life exists.
Exactly. Well, thanks again, Earl.
Mhm.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Catch you next time.